These were the scenes in Zaragoza as Spain defeat Argentina by 1-0 to claim their second ever World Cup title. Hello and welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Craig Burley, Steve McManaman and Frank Leboeuf. In one of the worst World Cup finals we have ever seen, Spain, in the end, deservedly get the victory and defeat Argentina. It was Ferran Torres' well-taken goal that proved to be the difference between the two sides. Look at that right-hand column. 2 shots from Argentina, none in regular time. Both of those came in extra time. Enzo Fernandez sent off. Spain with the victory as they lift the title and get a second star on their shirt. We're supposed to be objective on this show, but I don't think anyone, unless you're an Argentina supporter, will be more pleased than what we saw Spain lifting the World Cup, because, goodness me, that was embarrassing from the defending champions, wasn't it?
I'd go as far as to say Argentina were a complete and utter disgrace today, both with their performance and their antics. We expected the antics. We expected the thuggery. We expected the off-the-ball stuff. But we also expected a lot more on the ball, a lot more purpose, a lot more about their play. They were an utter shambles. They were disgusting, disgraceful. And yeah, I mean, I'm so pleased Spain won. And I could just see a scenario at the end there, but before Spain scored, that it was going to go to penalties, or they were going to get a scruffy goal, Argentina, and win this. And Spain tried. They tried to make it a good game. They tried to get over the line. Their finishing wasn't quite great. Martinez made a lot of saves, but they were comfortable saves. But we know Argentina are not the greatest side they've ever been, but to put that kind of performance in a World Cup final, that negative, it was a disgusting performance.
We were talking before the game that that the final of the World Cup was the biggest game ever.
Yeah.
And we have been presented. We saw that game, and in fact, it was a bad image of football.
It was everything that's bad with the game, really.
Yes, exactly. We showed the worst of the worst. Well, they showed the worst of the worst. Congratulations to Spain, and there is nothing to say about Spain because they tried, but it's impossible to play. And I have to include the referee at some point. You know, Paredes came on half-time. After 15 minutes, he should have been sent off, because he came just to put the mess in the middle of the park. And they didn't try to play. As Craig said, we were ready for that, the dirty part of their football. But we were expecting something else, and we didn't have that. So it was completely negative, and that's unbearable for me. And the football is different. The way I see the football, and I was a defender, is absolutely different to what I saw today. It was a shame. It was a bad image of football. And I thought the 1990 final, Argentina again, against Germany, was the worst of the worst. No, we found worse. This one.
Yeah, I concur with everybody. I hated the Argentina performance. There's this thing where they'll do anything to get a victory, and you know they'll try tricks and the dark arts, etc., etc. We've heard it, but it's a really bad image for them, isn't it? You know, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look great. You're talking about arguably the greatest player in the world. Yeah, his teammates act as if, they're not interested in football. They just want to do anything else apart from win a football match. They'll just do it by fair means or foul. They'll kick, they'll punch, they'll drag, they'll dive, they'll do anything. I mean, we went crazy over Paraguay's performance against France. That was worse. That was awful today. And as you said, in the biggest game in the world, the eyes of the nation, the eyes of the whole universe looking at this game, and you're subjected to that, where, as you said, if you're a neutral, all you're praying for is, you know what, I hope Spain score.
Yeah.
I hope Spain score, and then let's finish this game and get over with. And then after the end of the game, we're all sitting there going, I bet you Argentina caused chaos after the game. I bet you they're going to be pushing and pulling and fighting, and of course that's happened as well off camera, and it's just, I mean, I'm glad the result's gone.
Yeah.
Argentina were awful, and I thought their performances today was terrible, and I hope they're lambasted for it. In Argentina, they'll probably go down as warriors, as heroes, etc., etc. But that type of performance is not becoming of a team like that. No.
I know it's New York or New Jersey in this instance.
New York, New Jersey.
New York, New Jersey.
New Jersey, New York.
Yeah.
But I think it typified FIFA wanted the game here. They played in the worst stadium, probably out the lot, on the worst pitch,
Yep.
at a terrible time, really, for the US here, but not, you know, it was maybe better for around the world at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
But there was much better arenas during this World Cup that they could have, they should have known beforehand that would have been more conducive to a better atmosphere and a better game of football. Now, Argentina might have spoiled that still, but the pitch as well didn't help the Spanish who tried to play. So they got that wrong, albeit it's, you know, it's New York, so I get that. But I think there's a lot of people out there that do think FIFA wanted Argentina to win this thing. Infantino wanted a story. He wanted Messi to go back to back, and people have been doing stuff on social media and all that and sort of laughing about it, half joking and half serious, and that's kind of how it felt at times. But I liked what they did in terms of not the way they played. I liked, and I said this in the show before the final, I liked the guts in coming back in the fighting, and yeah, a lot of it was on England and other teams. I liked how they had that spirit and that quality in the last 20 minutes of games, and that's why I felt that we were going to see some of a similar ilk today. But we just saw the complete opposite. If you thought England were negative for 35 minutes and Thomas Tuchel got battered for them going out, they were negative for until, the last 10 minutes of extra time. 90-odd minutes of normal time plus injury time of complete negativity.
100th minute was the first shot.
How can you not, with players that have won World Cups and won Champions Leagues and playing all over Europe, most of them, on huge salaries, because they're playing at the top teams, not muster one effort in, what did you say, 100 minutes?
100 minutes.
Not one effort in a World Cup final, not even from 25 yards, not even speculative, nothing. Crossing the box ahead, nothing. And those players, and Enzo Fernandez, he's another disgrace. He's not got a brain in his head. He's on a yellow card and he jumps in and he complains, the usual. It's everybody else's fault. No, it's your fault.
And on top of it, he wanted to see the review when he doesn't even know the rules.
Review for a second yellow card.
Yeah, it's stupid.
But that typified the mindset.
Yeah.
Every Argentinian player, probably Messi apart, two people that come out, two Argentinians that have got a bit of class, Messi for the most part, and Scaloni.
Yeah, the manager, yeah.
The manager,
coach,
who's on the sidelines for the most part, is calm, and at the end he came on, he hugged De La Fuentes, congratulated him, and he was trying to keep his players away and the Spanish players away, because he knew it was a bit of a powder keg situation. They're the only two, really, that have carried themselves with any class. The rest of those Argentinian players today tried every trick under the sun to get Spanish players sent off, and this, that, and the next thing. They did everything but what they should have done, which was play the game.
How do you feel if you're an Argentinian player in the dressing room after this?
Oh, they'll be fine. Because we've seen them do that all the time.
That's part of their culture. You know what?
But it doesn't make it right, though. I get this part of the culture to fight and scrap and do everything you can to win a game. But that's not football, is it?
Yeah, but they will think that they've been robbed, maybe. They won't take full responsibility.
They'll blame somebody.
They blame somebody. The thing is, since I saw the France-Paraguay game where Paraguay supposedly didn't have any other tools but playing like that, then people were saying, well, that's CONMEBOL. Yeah, but there is a time where you have to change the way of playing the football. I mean, that's so sad that you have so many talented players in South America that CONMEBOL is supposedly only games like that. So can you be wrong at a certain time? Can we maybe try to change something? Is it possible? But because that's awful. That's simply awful. That's not the way you should play the football. That shouldn't be the way you think the football and you respect the football. And you can be strong, sometimes a little bit tricky because it's part of the game. But only have that system in your mind. That's really appalling.
For instance, Brazil don't have the same thought pattern as Argentina, do they? Maybe Uruguay, I'm not entirely sure, or some games in Copa America, you see a really bad, lots of fouls and stuff. But Brazil are not acting like that. So they want to win games the correct way. They'll fight and they'll get tackles in. It's a different style of Brazil now because they haven't got the players of yesteryear. But still, nobody really resorts to what Argentina have done or Paraguay have done. You know, we get that there's a gulf in class between France and Paraguay and you have to level it to a certain extent. But you can run and you can be aggressive without going over the top all the time, without effectively cheating constantly, because that's effectively what it is. Little touch, dive on the floor. Even the disallowed goal stands on Otamendi's foot. It was as if somebody shot him from the crowd. It was an accidental stand on his toe. There's more contact goes on at every single corner, which nobody bats an eyelid about. Everybody's pulling and pushing and not watching the ball and shoving. Yeah, a little touch on his foot, an accidental stand, and he goes flying in the air. And that's effectively cheating. Oh.
Well, we see that a lot. I'm always complaining when I see Mbappe doing it, and it's not. No, but it's true. That's the reality of it, and we see that a lot with most of the forward players, I would say. But it's like that. It's all individuals for Argentina. You can be a defender, or you can be even a goalkeeper. Even Martinez on that goal, he stayed on the floor when nobody touched him.
Yeah.
And you say, why? Why do you do that? And that's insane. It's part of their mind. They have to do that. It's in their blood. And I'm sorry, you have to change the way of thinking, because when you have geniuses like Alvarez, Messi, players who can play football and being so talented, they cannot be part of that.
Yeah.
They cannot witness that.
That's the problem, isn't it now? We're talking about Argentina in a really, really bad light. When up until this game, it was about how great they've been and how, Messi's been amazing and the fight, and they stay in games and they last-minute winners, and the camaraderie is amazing. Yet they have one bad game like this, and it's spoiled. It's spoiled.
I'm sorry, I won't agree with you. I won't agree on that, because before the game, many people were already cheering for Spain because of the way Argentina were thinking the football. I'm sorry. Yeah, they had good games.
They didn't play like that against Egypt or England.
No, of course not. But they were already.
No, we know what they do.
Yeah,
what kind of let's not forget Spain won.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. and very much deservedly.
Yes.
And let's go to Gemma Soler now, who is in Lamine Yamal's neighbourhood, where he grew up, a neighbourhood now of a World Cup champion. Gemma.
Yes, Dan, and this is amazing. 19-year-old, he's world champion, European champion. He won everything, La Liga, Copa del Rey with Barcelona. And we are 10,000 people here, and this is because they closed this park. It's called the Central Park in Mataro. More people wanted to get here, but they closed it. We have a big screen. All these people are waiting. They want to see Lamine Yamal with the trophy, and we suffer a lot. It's been a lot of suffering despite everything you said about Argentina not trying. Yes, the last 5 minutes we suffered, but we celebrated a lot. These guys here, my new friends, all of them are from Rocafonda. It's the neighborhood of Lamine Yamal. They want to say something short in English. How good is Lamine Yamal? ¿Cómo de bueno?
The best! Lamine Yamal is the best football player in the world.
The best football player in the world. They also want to show you, very proud, the postal code of Mataro. How the celebration, most of them, they have seen, they were explaining me that they have seen Lamine Yamal in the neighborhood. He's a proud kid. He goes back to his hometown, and all these people here, all these guys, my new friends, are so happy, so excited. They weren't here when Spain were crowned world champion 16 years ago in Johannesburg. So they are so excited, celebrating, and I have the feeling that the night is going to be long here in Mataro, in Rocafonda, where Lamine Yamal was born.
Gemma, the emotions, even where we were watching, were quite strong in a sense that, oh no, are Argentina going to take this to penalties and win? I imagine that was similar, wasn't it, with the fans around you?
Yeah, it was. It's true that with everything that happened during the 113 minutes, you could say the goal is going to come. The send-off of Argentina was celebrated as a goal almost here, because they kind of imagine that the goal will be happening. But then the time was happening, the commentators were remembering that Argentina have won 5 of the last 6 penalty kicks. Spain have only won 1 of 5, and I could feel the tension, the nerves of the people. They have been here 2 hours before kickoff. It was really hot, suffering. Some of the kids sitting in the ground, they couldn't stand this anymore. But eventually that Ferran Torres, also player from Barcelona, a substitute, a player that suffered so much, the Shark. So the celebration was big. I have a lot of beer in my hair, I have to say. Not these kids, they were great, but some in the back. fireworks. You know how it goes, but it was really fun to live it here, very authentic to live it. You know, Lamine Yamal comes from a very humble neighborhood with a lot of immigration, with a lot of trouble. He always said that he doesn't fear playing football, playing a World Cup final, because he feared a lot during his early years. And I think he's such an inspiration for these kids. All of them play football, and celebrating this, experiencing this is really amazing.
It's funny because you think Spain have won the World Cup.
And he's been
6 out of 10, probably, throughout. And I don't think that's Spurs being harsh. It's been fantastic to see the atmosphere there and the inspiration that he has to the neighbourhood. But he didn't have his best tournament.
And it's not a surprise when he had 2 months out with a hamstring injury coming into the tournament. It's not like he came in... Well, he was fresh in terms of he didn't play many games at the end for Barcelona, so he got a rest, but he wasn't sharp. You could see that in his passing, and his crossing, some of his finishing. So that's not a surprise, but it's about everything else for Spain, isn't it? And I tell you what was really big for Spain, and he got this almost perfect in most of the games, substitutions. The subs for Spain made a difference. Whether it was Moreno who missed the header, but he's came on in games and scored. It was Torres to Moreno.
Nico Williams, header.
It was Ferran Torres to Moreno in the Portugal game, I believe, or the Croatia game. Nico Williams came in, did a little bit. Pedri's come off the bench, and he dropped Pedri. He dropped Pedri, and that was a big call during this tournament to drop one of Barcelona's star men. But he made that decision because he felt that was for the betterment of the team. And then he was able to bring these guys on, and Torres and Moreno and Pedri in particular all came on at difficult times in games and made a difference. Those subs were huge.
Let me just say, Gemma, we'll say goodbye to you because I know you're busy. I know you've got other shows to do. Much appreciated, Gemma. Gemma, of course, will be with us throughout our La Liga coverage, which starts next month. Just a word on Lamine Yamal, Maka. How much was it the injury? How much was it the occasion?
No, it was probably the injury. It was just probably match fitness, match sharpness. I didn't think he was particularly bad. He contributed, but he certainly wasn't the star man or the star boy we were expecting him to be. If anything, defensively, they were magnificent, weren't they? You know, the fact that they've kept Argentina another clean sheet, they've conceded 1 in the whole tournament to Belgium. 1. I mean, defensively, when there was question marks about whether it's Porro or Llorente started the tournament, then Porro and Cubarsí and Laporte, who has had a couple of years in Saudi Arabia, back in Spain. You know, are they going to be comfortable enough? Are they going to be good enough? And it's shown that they've been excellent, hasn't he? Rodri again in front of them. I mean, they were just brilliant.
He made a big call on the goalkeeper as well, didn't he? Because Unai Simon did not have a good season for the Athletic Club, but he trusted him because he's done the job for him before. This is why international football is not always for a coach, about picking who some people perceive as the best player.
David Raya was the best goalkeeper in the Premier League.
And Jean Garcia Jean Garcia was the best
in La Liga.
Yeah, in La Liga.
You know, him and Thibaut Courtois. Jean Garcia was tremendous for Barcelona, but we got a little glimpse in the psyche of the relationship between the manager and Unai Simon. And the one time Argentina actually got up the field in the first half was Unai Simon being the sweeper keeper, a bit like Manuel Neuer. He was out there so quick to get that ball because Messi was going to run onto it. So I think the decision was made. Look, these other 2 guys are brilliant keepers, but what I'm getting is a total package here. He's good with the ball at his feet. He plays a high line, so he sweeps up behind, and you know he's not a bad goalkeeper. But he certainly, you wouldn't say he's the best goalkeeper out of the 3. You could argue he's actually the worst of the 3.
I just want to go back to Lamine Yamal, 19 years old, European champion, World Cup champion, 2 times in a row champion of La Liga. And 19 years old. I don't know if he realizes what he's doing right now. I don't know what's going to be the rest of his career, but it can
it's
be
not a bad start.
Can be kind of boring, but that's insane. And congratulations to him. And it's true. We have to stop on putting the pressure on him. Now he's not a real star right now because he's been injured and it's been hard. And comparing to what Messi achieved, what Mbappe is doing, and Kane.
Did you say we need to stop putting the pressure on him?
Yeah.
You've just reeled off his resume.
But because of this resume, let him go. Let him grow.
The funny thing is, Frank, is Cubarsi's is the same.
Yeah.
And he's virtually the same
Yeah, but he's
age.
a defender, so nobody cares.
That is very true, though.
Well,
Cubarsi, no one talks about.
Yeah, exactly, Cubarsi.
And Cubarsi had a great World Cup.
Yeah,
if we compare,
brilliant World Cup, and he's won all those trophies. Lamine's won. He's a little bit older,
the media.
But he's still a teenager, isn't he, Cubarsi? I mean, it's incredible. Incredible what they're trying to do.
Yeah, journalists, you have to stop that, you know.
Oh yeah, what are you?
I'm a pundit.
A media personality.
You're what?
I'm a pundit. I'm not a journalist.
A pundit.
A pundit.
We'll get rid of that, is it? Just a reminder, ESPN FC will continue. We're going to have a break We're going to have a few days off, but there will be a couple more shows before we go on holiday, including, of course, tomorrow, live on ESPN 2, 4 p.m. Eastern. So much reaction to what we've seen, not only today, but across the whole World Cup.